A sellout crowd at the Brisbane Entertainment Centre last round witnessed Kawasaki rider Daniel Reardon take his second Supercross victory and emerge on top of the points table. With American import Timmy Wygand still out of action, the early dominance of Team KTM was brought to an abrupt halt as the Supercross Open rookie withstood a grueling final and an army of Supercross stars to show that he's the man to beat this season. In the closing stages of the year, the imperative return to form of Craig Anderson has boosted the championship hopes of the No Fear Honda camp. However, Team CDR Yamaha's Shane Boyd still locks down second position and will stop at nothing to be on top come season's end. The American assault on the Australian Championship continues as Jason Thomas enters the fray alongside Shift Motor Suzuki powerhouse Greg Schnell. Sydney's Acer Arena hosts the penultimate round of the 2006 Championship, and with the window of opportunity for series points rapidly closing, all signs point to an explosive round of Supercross action. Welcome, folks, to Sydney's Acer Arena, and what an event this is going to be. Round 4 of the Supercross Masters. Look at this enormous crowd. People filing in, people of all ages, and certainly plenty of great sights as well. Look at this, transformed into a man-made hell is the Sydney's Acer Arena. A surprise inclusion into the field tonight is likeable American rider Jason Thomas. He's just come off a long but rewarding season in the States.
We have such a long season there, and just kind of wrapped it up. I was 7th in the World Supercross points this year. It's actually the 3rd year in a row I've been 7th, so a successful year. I'm just kind of glad it's over, and I'm going to do a bunch of international races such as here in Sydney, and just looking forward to that.
After a fall in the final last round, Team CDR Yamaha rider Shane Boyd has shown promising signs of making amends with a strong performance in practice.
The track flows good. I learned all the jumps pretty quick and just put in consistent laps through the whole practice and felt really comfortable. I think tonight's just going to come down to the start and consistent 20 laps.
Time now for this massive crowd to get a healthy dose of the M2R Freestyle Expression session. And Lee, the crowd is amped, and why wouldn't they be with stuff like this?
Well, there's a huge Indian air from Matt Schubring, totally off the side of the bike with a little bit of a twist, and Matt Schubring does a great job for KTM. We just saw a rock solid there, busting out the big tricks early here.
Good job too, very little margin for error on a jump like that. Oh, backflip, the crowd will love that.
Well, we see a little bit of it nowadays, but no one does it quite like Matt Schubring. He's such a smooth rider. A little bit of an over-rotation there, and still manages to stick the lander not too bad.
Well, there's an extension on the backflip, Lee.
Yeah, that was a good one there. Cameron Sinclair busting out the backflip with a bit of a knack thrown in, and of course pulling out that one-handed lander also. And look, Cameron Sinclair has just been a real innovator lately.
There is plenty more. It's just started to heat up at Sydney's Acer Arena. Don't you go away. Well, we're getting set now for some heat race action at Sydney's Acer Arena. Wow, look at that for a study of concentration, Lee.
Yeah, that was Brad Hibbard there. He's very keen and ready to go, but drop the gate here in Heat 1, and we have got a whole shot from the outside of the grid. Daniel Reardon from grid number 8 is just whole shot heat number 1.
The landman went to the ground man. Unfortunately, he went down. Reardon sliding into the corner. How nice was that?
Well, look, he's been on fire in practice. He was setting lap times that no one else could keep up with, and no doubt out here, he wanted to set that pace right off the word go.
Brad Hibbard having a strong ride in second. The study of mental concentration before. Schnell right in there as well, and McCoy, they're bar to bar through the stutters.
Well, they're going to have to pick the pace up if they've got any hope of staying with this guy, Daniel Reardon. He has checked out already, and we are only 1.5 laps down in this first qualifying heat.
Most guys tripling that, just touching the ground once in between them. The 20 bike running pretty hard as well. Cody Cooper aboard the Honda.
Well, great job from Brad Hibbard up there. He's doing quite well at the moment, but we look back to Greg Schnell, Daniel McCoy, and Cody Cooper. We expect him to be up a little bit higher.
McCoy rails it nicely there behind Schnell, who in turn is trying to run down Brad Hibbard on the 22 CR. Look, there's a bit of styling time as well for Daniel Reardon. This young man has an enormous future in the sport.
Yeah, nice little whip there from Daniel Reardon. He's come off the victory in the last round, the Brisbane Supercross, and he'll be hoping to do the same here tonight. This is only Heat 1, but he's still got a big night to come. I have no doubt about that.
Only one lap to go, and he's absolutely caning them. But how about Hibbert and Schnell? The battle rages between these guys. Checker is out. That's a big win for Reardon. He wraps it up nicely. This is the replay. How about this? Just power slides her in, locks it up for Lambert, nowhere to go. Heat number 2 on the grid now. Riders getting all set. Look at the concentration in their eyes. It's a great position here.
Well, we see the return of Troy Carroll coming back from injury. Number 1, the big number 1 played on the CDR Nokia Yamaha. And Shane Boyd.
Oh, man.
Welcome back to racing, TC. Straight over the handlebars. He won't be happy with that. But the person that will be happy is Nathan Brocktrop, as he has inherited the lead. But he has got Jason Thomas, the American, right behind him.
You can't believe that. You come back after all those weeks away. The next thing, you're over the bars in the first corner. Man, this is a tough sport.
Well, Boyd is right behind Jason Thomas. If you want to check out the American and see what he's got, see what he looks like, and that is what he looks like as he slots straight into the lead. Jason Thomas puts that Honda in first place.
Shane Boyd and Nathan Brocktrop having their own battles in 3rd and 4th respectively. Good pass by Boyd.
Yeah, nicely set up there from Boydie. And Nathan Crawford, the Queenslander, one of the only riders out there on a 252 stroke, is doing a great job on the Yamaha.
Good pass on the inside, the 00 of Nathan Crawford on the 12 of Brocktrop. So, pair of Nathans out there charging hard.
Well, Brocky's unfortunately dropped back a few positions. He's gone from first back to, 5th place now. But look, it might have been just a little bit overawed, just being up there at the head of the pack. If you had someone like Jason Thomas behind you, I guess it would probably put a bit of pressure on. But Shane Boyd is still a little ways behind. He needs to pick up the pace a little bit if he wants to get onto the back of Jason Thomas.
Well, what a good ride at the moment from Thomas. There's less than a lap to go. The American charging hard out of the Florida state, looking very solid indeed for a heat race win.
Yeah, looking silky smooth at the moment. This is the way to do it, to come out. And he didn't hole shot, but he has made a couple of nice passes and a great solid victory there from Jason Thomas.
Boyd coming home in the 2nd spot, back to the 00 of Nathan Crawford. Here's the replay of the start. Boom! Over goes the defending champion. Man, that had to hurt. Time now for heat number 3, and Craig Anderson rocking backwards and forwards alongside Ford Dale.
Let's have a look and see who's going to jump out of that gate. Well, of course, Craig Anderson nailing that start. Will he get the whole shot? Oh. Yes, he does. Of course, this heat brought to you from Dirt Action Magazine.
Michael Parsons almost pulled up a very good manoeuvre, but their bike got really tiny. He accelerated too hard and lost a lot of ground.
Ford Dale doing a very big leap there in 2nd place, and he's doing a great job out there as a little bit of a guest ride that has now developed into a full-time ride for the CDR Yamaha team for next year.
Peter Boyle charging hard there as well. Young Ford Dale, this young man improving from week to week. He's got a good flowing style about him, right up on the pegs. Good riding as he tries to chase down Craig Anderson.
Yeah, both very smooth riders in 1st and 2nd place between Craig Anderson and Ford Dale. So we have a look back to the Berger, Luke Burkhart on the Shift Motul Suzuki in 3rd place on the number 99 machine. He's having a ball out here. He's starting to enjoy Supercross a bit more.
And Ford Dale could learn a lot from this next couple of laps, Lee, because he's sitting behind Craig Anderson in some of these spots where Ando is so strong. If he can watch what Ando's doing, it'll help him all the more with his riding.
Well, he just needs to be just that little bit closer, and he could sit right behind Ando, just copy what he's doing. When he puts the power on in the corners, do the same thing. Roll it on the same across the whoops. There's so much you can learn from a master like Craig Anderson. Ford Dale, a little bit loose through the whoop section. Maybe he's just trying a little bit too hard to keep up with the man.
Well, man, what an example he sets. And you've got to be a bit careful too, because you can step outside your own limitations at times. But Craig Anderson is your dominant heat race winner. Good ride to Ando. He racks up another one. And here's a good look back. A replay of the start, Lee.
Well, once again, this is our 2nd hole shot that we have seen from grid 8. First from Daniel Reardon, 2nd from Craig Anderson. So maybe that's not a bad grid to have.
He looks very comfy, doesn't he? Big look back up into the crowd. Could be looking at someone special there, I think.
Yeah, that's right, Wade. Obviously, Ando having a bit of a look up there to his beautiful wife, Katrina, and his baby girl, who's come in to watch Ando's first ride.
Well, waiting for a start right now. Ando with plenty of work to do. Very tight in the clinches with Schnell. Schnell goes to get the whole shot, or does he? Yes.
Yeah, Schnelly nailing the whole shot there. Craig Anderson had a good start, but shuts it down and keeps on to a very nice second placing. Shane Boyd moves very swiftly up into third place, and he is going to try to mount a little bit of a challenge right now.
Boyd is very good at using different lines to make things fast, isn't he? Quite often you see him in a totally different part of the racetrack and making up ground. Here's a good battle.
Yeah, that's Nathan Crawford on the 00 bike. He's made up another position, and he is putting good use there into the 252 stroke. Michael Parsons just nailing a track marker on the side of the whoops there.
Jared Hockley too, having a pretty good ride. Look at this now, Schnell. It's Schnell, all right. Anderson's turned up the heat.
Well, that was a really, really well-executed pass from Craig Anderson. He showed a front wheel coming into the whoops and made Schnelly go a little bit wide, and then he managed to get back on the gas, did Ando, through the whoops and make the pass at the end. So to be able to slow it down and then once again pick your speed up through the whoops just shows how fast he is.
Stalled it.
Well, I just go give him a pat on the back, and he maybe just wants to make it a little bit harder on himself. It was a bit too easy. What do you think?
Geez, I don't think you very often see him do that, not in front of a massive crowd in his home state. That was big. Anyway, the American Greg Schnell is back in front. Shane Boyd in second place now.
Well, it's opened the door right up for these two guys, and let's not forget about Ando. He's still sitting right there behind Nathan Crawford, but I think as far as the win goes, there it is. It comes down to Greg Schnell, and he takes a very solid victory.
Oh, you see him slam the helmet down. He was dirty on himself. Well done to Schnell. Here it is. Just pulls it up and stalls it.
And how close was Greg Schnell to nailing the back of his bike?
Heat number 5 now, and you can see there that Troy Carroll, some last-minute words of wisdom.
Yeah, Sean Hodges there having a few little words to TC. They've been partners for a long time now, and let's see if it's going to do good for TC up the inside. And it is Daniel McCoy who nails the whole shot on the Motorex KTM.
Gee, look at him packed in there behind him. Carroll in very busy territory. Ford Dale nails him and goes on through.
Yeah, Ford just made a nice little pass there on TC, but it's good to see TC up here in the top 3 position at the moment. He just needs to keep it all nice and solid. Ford Dale looking so smooth up on the pegs, trying to make a pass for that lead.
McCoy denied him, but it was only just. Great racing here at the Acer Arena in Sydney. Ford Dale carrying great momentum. Good ride, young man.
Yeah, that was well set up, and it was brought on by a little bit of a mistake from Daniel McCoy as he came up a little bit short on that triple. But no problem at all for Ford Dale, and he's looking very smooth at the moment. It is CDR Nokia Yamaha first and third, and the Motorex KTM with Daniel McCoy, the sandwich in the CDR Nokia Yamaha lineup right there. But Cody Cooper on the Honda, he is back there in 4th place, and he's putting a bit of pressure on, trying to move up.
Brad Hibbert doing the same thing, just holding down a spot inside the top 5. Whoa! Ford Dale almost off the bike then. He was very unsettled. Now he gathers it back up, but that could have been a big get-off.
Well, look, Ford Dale has a habit of standing up a lot of the time, and sometimes it's a little bit unnecessary. You can sit down and you don't put anywhere near as much emphasis on the front wheel, and that was a case of nearly losing the front end at a bit of a silly situation. If he had had that butt down on the seat, it wouldn't have even come close to happening. But hey, if it works for him, he can do that, and a great victory there for Ford Dale on the CDR Nokia Yamaha.
Well done indeed. Ford smokes him here in this heat race. Wow, look at some of the riding here. Here's where Ford really took it, and this is the winning pass. Up the inside on McCoy. He stuck it from there. Heat number 6, and look at this crowd. Great shots down on the grid here now. Massive crowd here at Sydney's Acer Arena for the Supercross Masters. Watch for Reardon.
Well, can Reardon get his second? Well, obviously jumps out of the gate in a very big hurry.
Oh! What happened then?
Well, he clipped a hay bale with the back tyre there, and it just kicked the bike out to the right. He was trying to come over and cover his line on the inside, but I don't think he realised he had about 2 metres lead.
Aiden DeJager putting in a good ride here as well. Whoa, man, some contact between the Burgerman and the number 50 bike of Gian Delimoli as well.
Yeah, Luke Burkhardt definitely throwing a little bit of weight around there, but as we have a look back, Daniel Reardon is mired in the middle of the pack, and a huge moment, and going down in the process is Luke Burkhardt through the whoops.
Peter Boyle very consistent here at the moment as well. Reardon up on the pegs, chasing the number 50. Can he get through? Not at the moment. Now he pulls back to the inside. Landman having a good ride, but look out, it's a green machine attack. There's 3 of them there.
Yeah, Daniel Reardon will certainly put a bit of pressure on Wales Kawasaki rider Brent Landman in no time at all. But let's make mention, we haven't seen him yet, but Jason Thomas is out at the head of the pack, doing a sensational job, and Daniel Reardon is just letting it all hang out at the moment. He wants to be up in that number 1 position, and it's not going to happen like this.
Now he smooths up a little. Look at that, great riding. Poetry in motion here at the Supercross Masters at Acer Arena. Now he gets through. It's not a clean ride, though, for him.
No, this one is not one of the clean ones, but Daniel Reardon, he has a great technique and an ability of being able to absorb impact on takeoff ramps. That's with along with himself and Craig Anderson, and Shane Boyd, of course, sees them nice and low on jumps. But, of course, Jason Thomas taking a great victory here. And look how close back to second place was Daniel Reardon. He closed in, did a great job on the Kawasaki.
Here's the replay where Reardon just steps off the bike big time. It is all happening here at Sydney. Getting towards the business end of the deal now, Lee Hogan. We're up to heat number 7, and the guys are a study in concentration.
Yeah, Nathan Crawford just all eyes there, checking it all out. Brent Landman right over the front of the bike for the start, but Craig Anderson on the inside, he is out to make amends from that little mishap in that last race. Peter Boyle just giving Ando what for, the fellow Honda rider. That's a nice way to get in the good books with Ando.
Didn't last long though. Anderson inevitably charging to the front. Ford Dale in there as well. Schnell, the American, pushing on. They charge through now, and look at Ando. Got a bit of a lead over Ford Dale and Peter Boyle.
Well, Ford Dale's doing a great job there. I'll tell you what, he's getting a little bit of a taste of being up near the head of the pack. Peter Boyle still back there in 3rd place. He's doing a good job there on the Honda 450 machine. Nathan Crawford, number 00, he is not too far back also, and he wants to get in the mix there and throw his weight around.
Boyle starting to put in some very good rides. Nice little rooster tail just then. The boys styling it up a bit over the top of that double where the checkered flag is. Dale very sideways. The rear end stepped right out on him. That's where Anderson is toughest, right through there.
Well, Craig Anderson can just go through those whoops every single lap and not put a foot wrong, and that's I guess comes down to a little bit of experience, a little bit of strength also, upper body strength, and also bike setup. You know, you need to know how you want to have your bike set up. It all comes with a little bit of time.
And a bit of confidence as well, because you must attack it 100%. You can't, well, basically go half-hearted. You'll come unstuck big time.
Well, a rider like Ford Dale, every single race he comes out and he does something like this, it's got to be adding to the confidence. You know, he's just trying to get a few races under his belt, and sooner or later he is going to be one of the hard chargers, and it's only a matter of time. But Craig Anderson coming through to take a very good victory here in front of the Sydney crowd. Great job for the team No Fear Honda rider. We see Greg Schnell coming through on the Shift Motul Suzuki.
Yes, here's the replay once more. Anderson, it got very tight in the clinches. Boyle pulls out and cuts off the groove. Second last heat race right now, and Daniel Reardon, what can he do this time?
Well, he hasn't had a night that has gone perfectly to plan by no means, so he'll be hoping to get a good start, nail the whole shot, and try to lead every single lap here, but let's see if he can do it.
Watch out for Troy Carroll, the number 1 plate holder's had a disastrous year due to injury. They jam in, Reardon gets the whole shot, does he? Yes.
Well, that was a much smarter way of doing it. He got a little bit of an in-swinger with the back wheel happening, like he did in the last race, which saw him clean up the hay bale, but he timed it a bit better this time, and we managed to miss that hay bale.
Carroll's starting to get some laps in, was starting to feel better and better with each lap, that's for sure.
Well, we've got to remember he's had well over 6 months off the bike, and he's just trying to get his race legs back on again. Meanwhile, he's got Daniel McCoy all over the back of him on the KTM, and McCoy will be vacating the orange seat next year. He's lost his KTM ride, and he will be, from what I can tell, moving to Serco Yamaha in the Pro Lights, and he's got a smile on his face. He's looking forward to a good year's racing next year.
We're watching the number 1 plate holder for this year, though time is quickly running out because Reardon is having a great battle at the moment in the championship with guys like Craig Anderson and also McCoy. Those guys are really cranking out a championship battle. Now McCoy on the inside in the blink of an eye. What a battle this has turned out to be.
Well, that was a great little pass there from McCoy. He just slammed the back brake on and just turned on a dime on the KTM and shut back up the inside and basically just shut out any option that Troy Carroll had of coming back. But let's have a look at this guy. It is poetry in motion. This is what the new breed looked like coming through. Running the handlebars a little bit lower than some of the other guys, but he looks so comfortable out there, and a great victory from Daniel Reardon.
Faultless ride from the green machine. Here's a replay back now. McCoy attacking the inside on Carroll. Pulled off the move very nicely indeed. McCoy, an excitement machine.
And of course, next to the
Final heat race. Last chance to get your points. This will be a beauty, Lee.
Yeah, heat race number 9, and we have got Shane Boyd pitted up against Luke Burkhardt. And let's not forget about Jason Thomas. He's on the far inside, but a great start there from Boyd. He does get pipped a little bit there by Brad Hibbert. I think it's only a matter of time before we see the pressure being put on Brad Hibbert.
Good start from Hibbert, plenty of confidence. It's always very quiet on the line, eyes closed, a study of concentration. Bergerman, whoa, he almost made a meal of that one. Shane Boyd really putting the pressure on Hibbert now.
Well, Boyd's going to know he's got company from behind. He has got Jason Thomas all over the back of him. And Jason doesn't throw a wheel too much up the inside. He's not too over-aggressive. But generally, when you see that wheel, it's because it's just come past you. So you need to be careful. Boyd is going to have to set the pass up well. I think it's coming.
Now, these guys wouldn't have any idea that the American is right there. They'll be too absorbed in this battle. Boyd, cleverly, he ran Hibbert out of racetrack, but almost did it politely.
But I tell you what, Boyd has just been impressing me lately. He's always had so much speed. He's got a great style. He's got a great bike and an awesome team behind him. But he just seems to have matured a little bit as a rider. He seems to make better decisions on the track. He doesn't seem to be getting caught up in some of the unnecessary stuff that can go on around the track. He's an absolute pleasure to watch, and I'm just looking forward to seeing his first race win.
Here he is, the man you speak of now, blasting through. But look at the battle now. The American closing in on Hibbert. What an exciting rider Jason Thomas is out of Florida, all over Hibbert now.
Well, Brad Hibbert, he's a big, strong guy. He's extremely muscly. He's not someone that would just move out of the way nice and easy. But a great victory there from Shane Boyd, and Brad Hibbert holding on to a solid second placing from Jason Thomas, also Honda mounted.
Here's the replay of the start and the final heat race. As always, it was tight, but a great ride for Hibbert to come out on top. Boyd, however, quickly into race-winning form. Great pass. Don't go away, folks. When we come back, we're full throttle once again.
On the road to improvement, we're all part of a snail-space movement. One of the lines on the road to improvement, we're all part of a snail-space movement. One of the lines on the road to improvement, we're all part of a snail-space movement. One of the lines on the road to improvement.
Semi-final time right now for the Supercross Lights. You see Jake Moss sitting there ready to go. Robbie Marshall in there as well. This could be anybody's race.
Well, that's for sure. Robbie Marshall has been a rider that's been just a revelation this year, but as he goes to the outside, it's all Serco Yamaha. Jake Moss to the inside, Robbie Marshall on the outside, which gives him the inside on the next line, and a great pass there from Robbie Marshall.
And Diggsy Anderson right there in this as well. So the battle is well and truly on now. Anderson carving a groove.
And Michael Parsons back there in 4th place. He's riding both bikes, so he'll be no doubt feeling the pinch. And you can see Cameron Taylor down there on the start line, just standing there, having a little bit of a look at his teammates who currently hold down 1st and 2nd.
Bronte Holland not off to the best of starts in the Katoom.
Bad mistake there from Jake Moss. Slots himself back into 3rd place and allows Danny Anderson to move up a position into 2nd place.
And he doesn't need an invitation, the young fella, either. He'll charge through there anyway. We see the 33 of Peter Boyle and Justin Carafa out there as well. So a good battle everywhere you care to look in the first semi-final of the night for the Supercross lights.
Well, Robbie Marshall, the only form of battling that he wanted to do was in that first turn, and then as soon as he got out of there, he just said, well, I'll see you later. I'll check you when we get to that finished flag, because I don't want to play a part in that. I just want to put in a few smooth laps and take a victory here, and he is certainly on the road towards that.
Gee, Boyle riding with increased confidence as well, charging really hard. There he is in the 33, giving Holland a really hard time.
Yeah, Bronte, he's only just a couple of races back from a bad knee injury where he had surgery, and Bronte Holland was certainly on top of his game right up until that point. He was second in the Supercross Championship, but not having the best of nights as Robbie Marshall comes through, and he is on fire tonight. Danny Anderson back in second place. Serco Yamaha rider Jake Moss in third.
There's the replay again. Oh, man. Holland got moved out of the way from the big don't argue then. Great stuff in deep. Oh, Moss comes up a bit short there as well. That's where Diggsy Anderson makes the pass. Semi-final number 2 right now. What a field. Marmont, Doran, Taylor, Mackey, Harrison, Williamson, Mellish and McDermott in there as well.
Well, this is the big one. This sees Cameron Taylor, our championship points leader, pitted against Ryan Marmont, who looks to be able to get the whole shot right here. Yes, he does. The Motorex KTM goes to the outside and sticks that dirt action whole shot.
Well, a couple guys in all sorts of trouble just then. Not so Ryan Marmont. I love watching this kid when he gets out in front. He's got such a great style. Likewise, Cam Taylor. He won't go down without a fight either.
Well, you've got two totally different riding styles here between Cameron Taylor and Ryan Marmont, our leader. As you can see, just a bit of a bulldog is Cameron Taylor. He's a little ball of muscle and he gets the job done, whereas Ryan Marmont just sticks his landers nice and smooth. But number 711 it is, Sean Williamson back there in fourth place at the moment on the Yamaha. He sits behind Troy Doran, and the young kid from South Australia is such a hard charger. He's only, what is he, 16, 17 years old, I think, and he's just got the world at his feet if he can just pick up that pace a bit.
You see the guys struggling a little bit through the stutters just then, through the whoops. Beautiful riding style of Cam Taylor. Has got lots of pressure from Troy Doran, a couple of the hard-nosed veterans of the game. And having said that, they're not that old. They've been around forever, that's all. Whoa! You saw then Cam seemed to screw that injury up a bit.
Yeah, he made a little bit of a mess of that there to Cameron Taylor, and the boys have passed each other backwards and forwards twice now, but those two guys, they're what, 33 and 35 years old. They've been racing against each other, I think, since 1984.
We're into the last lap. It is a long time by motocross and supercross standards, that is for sure. The boys carving each other up, and they'd be loving it, I would imagine. Checkered flag is coming out, though. Ryan Marmont, good ride. He takes it out. Look at this now. Dawes gets it over Cam Taylor. Whoa! All sorts of trouble here. The 8-pike of Cody Mackey.
Yeah, Cody Mackey was all over the shop trying to get through, and we see a replay of the first turn. More trouble for Cody Mackey as he's trying to make his way up through the pack. The Wales Kawasaki rider right there in the mix. We have a little bit of a look here from Troy Doran making a pass on Cameron Taylor.
Last chance qualifier, the LCQ. You've got to get it done right now, Lee, or you're going home.
This is not a race just like the Opens that you want to be in. As we have a look down, number 39, Taylor Potter. What a jump out of the gate for KTM rider Taylor Potter. Cade Mosig, number 32. He just turned on a dime and shut out the inside. But Cameron Taylor on the Serco Yamaha, he doesn't really want to be in this race, but I tell you what, that's where you need to be. If you're in this race, you want to be in first place.
He was absolutely brutal in the first corner. Whoa! Potter just got himself way out of shape, legs off the bars everywhere, but still managed to hold on. So good effort. They're a bit ragged here, but it's the LCQ, isn't it?
Well, it tends to be a characteristic of this race. You tend to see legs off, arms off all over the place, passes being made that you probably didn't think could have even been made in that certain area. And there tends to be a little bit of bar bashing going on, and quite often a little bit of wheels touching also. You just got to hope that you're not involved in it.
These guys putting on a bit of a clinic out in front, but the rest of the field still anybody's guess at the moment. Your LCQ at Sydney's Acer Arena. Oh man, the jarring impact just then. Not so this man, the Serco Yamaha of Cam Taylor, looking very smooth. very much at ease.
Yeah, Cameron Taylor just giving these guys a little bit of a schooling at the moment as he comes through on the Serco Yamaha. Not too long to go now, and he will have himself a berth in the final here tonight.
He's had to do it the hard way, but hey, as long as you get there, that's the big thing. He's had to ride some extra laps. I don't know whether that gives you better R&D or not, but it's been a very good, comfortable ride so far for him.
Well, he does have a good lead in the championship. He has got Ryan Marmont on a big charge, trying to make up points, and with only one round to go after this one at Wollongong's Wynn Stadium, that is Ryan Marmont's hometown.
Checkered flag is out. Cam Taylor, good ride. He'll be heading to the final. He had to do it the hard way, that's for sure, but the point is, I guess he's in the final. Here's the replay of the start right now, and Cam was just brutal here. Well, time now for the open semi number 1 here, and a class field heads down, waiting for the gates to drop. Who'll get the whole shot here? Oh, we got away with it.
A little bit of a jump at the gate there from Cody Cooper, and not quite sure what will happen if you'll get into a little bit of strife, but it is Craig Anderson on the No Fear Honda who has scored that whole shot, and he is closely followed by our series points leader, Daniel Reardon.
It's not very often you actually see someone crash through the gate. Normally it holds you up and you're stuck there.
Yeah, well, that's it. They're supposed to be self-penalising gates, which are supposed to catch your front wheel. But if you've got a big 450 trying to come through there, I'll tell you what, it's going to take bigger gates than that to try to stop you.
Look at Ando and Rito going, just skimming across the top there. Beautiful riding. Boyd pushing very hard as well, trying desperately to stay in touch with the lead duo.
Well, these three guys, it looks like it's going to come right down to the wire in the championship with them, but this is a perfect example, old school versus new school. Daniel Reardon chasing down what tends to be the master at the moment, Craig Anderson, and I'll tell you what, we're going to see a lot more of this.
You're just millimetres away from disaster skipping across the top like that. It doesn't take much before you case out or you endo it big time. Gee, Reardon, how good is this boy?
Yeah, he's super talented, Daniel Reardon. He has pretty much got the world at his feet, but he is still being headed by Craig Anderson at the moment. Ando has a tendency to look extremely smooth and almost effortless, whereas Reardon lets it all hang out a little bit. He's still very smooth, but I tell you what, watching Daniel Reardon looks a little bit like Chad Reed in the old school days when he was coming through.
Ando very much with his hands full to stay out in front. Reardon, although if he catches him, what is he going to do with him? They'll have a bit of a cheeky look over his shoulder to see where Reardon is. Good circuit here at Sydney's Acer Arena in front of a full house. The Supercross Masters, as always, it's always a sellout crowd.
Well, what a battle we're seeing between these two. The crowd definitely getting their money's worth here at the moment. Is Daniel Reardon going to try to throw it up the inside and maybe put a little pass on Craig Anderson? I don't think so as he comes through. Craig Anderson taking semi-final number 1.
And don't give you a close eye on him. Now, there's the problem there. That's going to cost Cooper. He's been DQ'd by the looks of things. There's an interested onlooker, Chad Reed here.
Yeah, Reedy over having a little bit of a look, checking out the Aussie guys. But here we have semi-final number 2, and it looks to be Daniel McCoy on the Motorex KTM getting a great start.
Oh, didn't they shut the door on the inside line then, Lee?
Yeah, they did. There was a little bit of an altercation coming into that first turn. It looked like Jason Thomas, the American rider, having a little bit of a drama there, but he is coming from a long way back, and just watch this guy. He's a little bit short on the motorcycle. You stand next to him, he comes up to your shoulders, but you watch him ride around the track, and he is a little ball of fury, let me tell you.
The Burger Man doing the job at the moment over Fort Dale. They charge hard into this left-hander right now. Then the guys that got caught up in the battle earlier, that's Brent Landman, who you have a fair bit to do with, Lee.
Yeah, Brent Landman, young Bocker, is a good hard charger. Both the Shift Motul Suzuki guys are out there in this race. It just so happens that Greg Schnell, the American, is a long ways back, and we're still waiting to see what this guy's got. We know he can perform well, but he's yet to have really performed to his ability, I think, so far.
Gee, you saw Daniel McCoy really slam the door on Jason Thomas before. This guy's really going at it now. Thomas back up the inside. Good ride between these two. In fact, wow, McCoy got eaten alive there.
Yes, he did, and that was a prime example. Jason Thomas, just a finely executed pass there. On the indoor circuits like this, you can't just decide to make a pass and do it. You need to set it up from a little ways back, and that's exactly what Jason Thomas did right there.
Through the stutters they come. Look at him just finally balancing across the top. The Burger man putting in one of his best rides this year.
Yeah, he's doing good. Berger's been getting good starts in the Supercross, and that's what it's all about. You need to get out at the head of the pack. You need to keep a cool head and make some good decisions. And Shift Motul Suzuki rider Luke Burkhardt taking a great victory.
Well, here's the start. It got ugly right from the start. Watch to the inside. The guys all pressed down, and that was where the problem was. Last chance qualifier now for the Supercross Open.
Well, this is a race you don't want to be in. There's only 2 riders qualified through, and a great start from Daniel McCoy. Looks like we had a Suzuki rider trying to go around the outside there. That's number 12, Nathan Brocktrop, but he got pushed a little bit wide. But it is crunch time here. You do not want to be sitting up in the stands watching the main.
Whoa!
That's why you see these guys just letting it all hang out.
McCoy, it's not pretty, but it's effective. He's got the tail right out. He's off the bike. His feet are off the pegs. He's just wide open.
Well, look, he only knows one speed, McCoy. And it is flat out. And I tell you, that KTM was just all over the place there. But we've got Cody Cooper. He's back there in 3rd or 4th place, and he needs to get up into a qualifying position.
Michael Parsons just outside the bubble is running about 3rd. You need to be in the top 2 if you're going through from the LCQ. The guy's really ragged behind them, but you've got to throw it all out.
Well, we've got Daniel McCoy in the lead and Brent Landman back in 2nd place, and neither of these 2 guys have got any pressure from behind. That's normally where it comes from. 3rd and 4th, trying to get up into 2nd place to try to get that last spot into the main event. This is really playing into the front 2 place getters' hands at the moment.
Greg Schnell will be very disappointed. He's a lot further back than he'd like to be. He's not going forward to the final, that's for sure. Massive crowd here to watch. We see McCoy not so comfy through the starters just then.
The machine not really handling too well there, but he makes up for it with some of his corner speed and his intensity. McCoy really could be just backing it down a notch, I guess you could say, at the moment. He's got a little bit of a gap now over Bocker in 2nd place, and he doesn't need to be going quite this hard. Maybe he's just getting a few of those fast-paced laps up before the main event.
Well, his uncle never backed out, and I don't think he's going to either. It's just the McCoy way, isn't it? He's on the gas and hard. It's the real McCoy out in front. There is Landman, who's probably content right now to hold him as 2nd and lock down that transfer.
Look, a berth in the main event for Brent Landman would just be great. He'll be happy to do that. He's only had a couple in the Pro Open classes, and he'll be stoked. And now we have Daniel McCoy with a great victory in the last chance qualifier here tonight.
Team Motorex KTM started off the year on fire, with US import Timmy Wygant topping the table in the early stages. In Wygant's absence, Motorex's KTM's championship hopes are pinned on Ryan Marmont.
The results have been very good, actually. Unfortunately, Ryan missed the 1st round due to shoulder injury, but he's actually been coming on stronger and stronger at every round. Here we are at the penultimate round, and he's actually in with a chance to win the series.
After successful testing in Europe, Motorex KTM is proud to announce the arrival of its brand new model.
You've got a lot of support from Europe, and we're actually debuting the 2007 bike tonight, which we've been testing for the last 3 weeks, and Ryan is very, very impressed with it. So we're really looking forward to the race tonight.
Yeah, basically it's a total new bike. The frame's different, the swinging arm, the way the shock sits, and you know, we're lucky enough to have this bike early and do a lot of work with it, and it's feeling pretty good out there at the moment.
Whilst the 06 Open title is out of their reach, KTM will be buoyed by the return of Jay Marmont in 07 with a view to winning the elusive double title.
Yeah, I think to have the 2 boys next year will be a force to be reckoned with in both classes, and we've got an all-new 450 that Day will be debuting for us as well.
Yeah, that'll be a big boost for the team. The new 450 is meant to be really good, so yeah, I can definitely see Jay up the front, and Doggy's doing well, so wait and see what happens.
It is Pro Light's final time right now, and Lee Hogan, what a field for this one.
Yeah, it's a great event here as we see Ryan Marmont jumping out of the gate, but who's going to get the Dirt Action Whole Shot Award? It looks like Danny Anderson, but Ryan Marmont is left back in the first turn.
Diggsy's ugly there. He got in all sorts of trouble. He got the whole shot, but it went pear-shaped from there, Lee.
Well, we had bit of drama in the first turn, but looks like Danny Anderson has relinquished his lead to Bronte Holland on the KTM, who now leads at the moment. We'll have to wait and see if he's going to hold on to that position, but it's on behind him, let me tell you.
Troy Doran in all sorts of trouble. He ran right off the circuit. Oh, look at that. That was a big don't argue from Robbie Marshall.
Well, Robbie's been doing it all night. He's come from behind and made some really good passes, and he wanted to get into the lead and just check out. He knows his main competitor, Ryan Marmont, is way back in the pack after stalling in that first turn.
Oh,
and he's trying to put as much of a gap between himself and the pack as he can. In second place now, Jake Moss, so Serco 1 and 2.
Jake Moss and Bronte Holland throwing all sorts of big moves at each other. But this is the replay now of the start.
Yeah, now let's have a look here. Cameron Taylor on the far inside, number 2 on the Serco Yamaha. As we have a look, Ryan Marmont on the outside. Look at Cameron there on the inside. A little bit of a shake of the head. That is definitely open for discussion. We'll have to wait to see what goes on there. You guys interpret how you want.
Jake Moss charging hard at the moment. Likewise, Cameron Taylor. This is the Pro Lights final. Whoa, look at Doran now. He's come from way back. Remember, he went off the circuit. Look at the Doz factor now.
Doz is just charging at the moment. He's on the No Fear Honda, and he is trying so hard. He's coming down to the end of his career at the moment. Not too long to go. So he is trying to end on a good note, let me tell you.
And at the other end of the scale, you've got young Jake Moss, who's been riding for a lot of years, but still very much a youngster. Meanwhile, we charge hard with Robbie Marshall, as always. Good ride from Robbie at the moment.
Robbie's doing great. He's just putting in lap after lap at the moment, and he's stringing together basically a practice session. He doesn't have anyone to chase. He doesn't have anyone right behind him, but he still needs to keep it all together. A rider we do need to keep our eye on, though, is Ryan Marmont. He's come from dead last, and he is putting in lap times faster than anyone else on the track. He is trying to chase down Cameron Taylor in the championship.
And that's the man you speak of on camera right there as well. All sorts of dramas for Danny Anderson after he got the whole shot. We haven't sighted him.
Well, Ryan Marmont looking unbelievable through the whoop section there, just getting right up on top of it. And he is trying to track down the leaders. He is still not quite in the top 5 yet, but it is now Serco Yamaha 1, 2, and 3. Cameron Taylor in 3rd place.
What a great result for the Serco Yamaha team. They must be amped about this. To watch Robbie rocketing through this circuit at Sydney's Arena in front of a full house.
Well, he's put in the hard work in the early stages, and it's paid off as he comes through. Serco Yamaha rider Robbie Marshall taking a great victory there ahead of 2nd place rider Jake Moss and 3rd Cameron Taylor, a Serco trifecta.
You know, I haven't won since Adelaide last year, and I've had a bit of an up and down season, and to come here and win tonight just on the Serco Yamaha, man, I can't ask for any more.
The championship battle sees Cam Taylor out to a 6-point lead over Marmont. Back to Mitch Hode. They've got Holland, Doran, Marshall, and Danny Anderson. They're all joined together. What a battle for the championship. It's all come down to this, folks. Look at this crowd in the house. The Supercross Open final now at Sydney's Arena. Can that young man there, Daniel Reardon, deliver a power knockout to Craig Anderson as we see the American Jason Thomas? A study of concentration. Well, we're out of the whole shot now. Who will pick up the whole shot?
Well, great start from Craig Anderson as he comes through and nails the whole shot award. That was Ford Dale that went down. He got thrown into a bit of a 360 there on the CDR Yamaha, but Luke Burkhardt was very close to nailing the whole shot award, but it was actually Daniel McCoy who was right next to Craig Anderson. Great to see McCoy having a good stab at it here tonight.
The Burger Man having a good crack at Shane Boyd there as well, and now Reardon having a good go at Burkhardt. So everywhere you can look, it's a carve-up. Anderson, your leader.
Well, the pressure was on in the main event, the big one. It's when you need to nail the start. Of course, you need to get a good start in the semi-final to get into the main event. But when you got someone like Craig Anderson out there who is just the whole shot king, you need to get a good start with him, and Daniel Reardon has just allowed too many riders to be in between these two guys. Shane Boyd is the other rider that's right up there in the mix, and this could be his night tonight.
It's a busy circuit, isn't it? There's no time to rest, no time to sit down. You're up on the pegs almost all the way around.
Well, Shane Boyd needs to make a pass, get past. Daniel Reardon has gone down. It has just gone from bad to worse. When you get not the best start here at an indoor, you end up battling with the kind of guys you don't want to be battling with, and you try to go a pace that the leaders are going, it can end up in disaster.
McCoy and Shane Boyd. Boyd tried a different line, but McCoy just rocketed away from him. So I don't think Shane will write that one down in the book as a line to try for the next time around.
Well, it's a little bit of a mistake there from Boyd. It cost him. He actually had to do 2-2-2 through that section instead of triple. And that just allowed Ando to get out a bit more. You give Ando a little bit of gap like this, a little bit of space, and he will just trail ride all day long.
Reardon starting to ride hard now again and charge back through the order. Very difficult part of the course, that little left-hander. It's got a bit of a lip out with the hay bales, though. You could easily come unstuck there.
Young up-and-coming CDA Yamaha rider Ford Dale just about to have a lap put down as he goes through the whoop section. And Shane Boyd up the inside makes a nice pass on McCoy. McCoy won't like that. He does not like to be relegated a position, but I think in this case he gets dropped another position from the American rider Jason Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas was very quickly onto it. Look at this battle right now. You see Boyd just nailed the corner. This is mine. I don't care what you do, make your own arrangements.
Well, talk about threading the needle. That was there's a matter of centimetres between those two guys.
And now he puts the same manoeuvre on Ford Dale, who pulls out and realises there's no point trying to fight with the guy who's putting me a lap down. Look at this American starting to come on now.
Well, he's silky smooth. You watch Jason Thomas, he looks like he's not really trying that much, but that is how he rides. He pulls a much taller gear than everyone. You have a listen right down next to the whoop section. He's in a higher gear than everyone else, and that 450 just tractors around the circuit.
Look at him making his way through the stutters just there. The Supercross Open final here. Sweet riding style of this American out of Florida, but he's got no answer for Craig Anderson at the moment, who's doing the biz out in front.
Another shot here of Daniel Reardon trying to make his way up. He has come onto the back of Daniel McCoy now, and he's trying to put him down.
Ooh.
Pushed relatively high there. That's no fault of anyone's. It's just Daniel Reardon just trying to get up a position.
Gee, how hard is he pushing there? Couldn't quite make the inside stick. He almost come off the bike, wheel standing through that section then.
Well, coming through this corner, as we have a look at Reardon, he gets sideways, and as he comes up over the jump, it kicks that back wheel in. That would have been a pass from Daniel Reardon if he hadn't have had that little bit of a slide.
Here is your leader, Craig Anderson, about to put Landman down a lap. In fact, Brett gets out of the way, which is a good idea, stays out of the contest. How about Shane Boyd's ride?
Well, Boydie has not put a foot wrong so far. He has strung together lap after lap. His corner speed's great. He's made sensational decisions coming up through the pack when he didn't get the best of starts. He had to pass a couple of riders, and now that puts him on the back of Ando. And this is the only way you've got any chance of beating Ando, is putting pressure on, seeing if he'll make a mistake. But hey, it's very, very difficult.
You never know how much more he's got in the tank with this guy. You don't know, is he riding 12 tenths right now? Is he riding within his reserves just to put these laps down and do the job? He needs the points to make the championship very interesting if they finish this way now.
Yeah, well, if they finish this way at the moment, Daniel Reardon and Shane Boyd will be equal on points going into the final round, and I dare say that Craig Anderson will just be 1 point back. It'll be so close going into the final round.
Ando must be ruining that enormous crash that he had in the early going of the championship. It certainly hurt him physically, and it hurt his points badly as well.
Well, a lot of guys don't like to lead races, but this guy loves it. This is what he does best, lead races, and doing this right at the moment, he has got Shane Boyd behind him, and he would love nothing more than to be out at the head of the pack.
The commanding performance from Anderson. Boyd there is in the second spot. Started to close in a bit though. There's a good battle raging for third now.
And a little bit of fire in the belly for Shane Boyd back up in second place. He's got his very good friend Chad Reed over and up in the crowd, and no doubt Chad would like Boydie to get his first victory, but it looks like Craig Anderson has done it. He has won the main event here tonight at Sydney's Acer Arena.
Great result for Ando. What a ride.
It's been a long time coming. It's since Perth, that big crash, and then getting landed on in Brisbane. It's been a long time coming to win a Supercross. You know, the outdoor championship was great, but I hadn't won a Supercross this year, so it's been a long time, and it's good to just get up on the podium and just get my confidence back.
Well, Lee Hogan's had the calculator out and he's dead on the money. Daniel Reardon and Shane Boyd locked together. Ando only two behind him. Luke Burkhardt in the fourth position. You go back there to Wigan, Metcalf, Hurley and Thomas rounding out the 8. What a championship battle. Still one round to come, and you'll be seeing it in weeks ahead.
That's it for today's show. Speedweek will be taking a break over the next few weeks as we make way for some live two-wheel motorsport, both on and off-road. Next Sunday, the opening round of the Penrite Pro MX Championship presented by AMX Superstores gets underway from Wonthaggi in Victoria. They'll head north to the nation's capital a few weeks later on May 2 for the second round of the championship, before going to Gilman in South Australia for round 3 on May 30. Maitland, the New South Wales Hunter Valley, plays host to round 4 on June 27, before heading to Wodonga on the New South Wales Victorian border a month later on July 25. The Queensland Moto Park in Coulson, Queensland plays host to round 6 on August 8, before heading to Coolum 1 week later for the final round doubleheader on August 14 to 15. Live coverage commences from 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time with 2.5 hours of action from the MX1, MX2, MX3 and 1252 stroke classes. For more information and the latest Pro MX news, head to ozpromx.com.au. 1 week later, the opening event of the Yamaha Australian Off-Road Championship presented by MX Store gets underway in Golden Beach, Victoria. With the opening 2 rounds scheduled at Nowra, New South Wales postponed due to extreme weather conditions, the event will be rescheduled at a later date. Rounds 3 and 4 at Golden Beach will now become the opening event of 2021, with Kyogo in New South Wales hosting rounds 5 to 6 on July 17 to 18. The Queensland Moto Park in Coulson, Queensland hosts rounds 7 to 8 on August 6 to 7, with rounds 9 to 10 from Kingston South East and South Australia on September 18 and 19, and the final 2 rounds from Omeo and Victoria on October 16 to 17. If you're in the Gippsland region of Victoria and want to check out all the AORC action, head to Golden Beach on April 17 to 18, with highlights to be shown on Speedweek in the coming weeks. For more information and the latest AORC news, head to aorc.org.au. Also happening that weekend, Goulburn's Wakefield Park Raceway will play host to round 3 of the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship presented by Motul. Live coverage of round 3 commences from 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And for more information along with the latest ASBK news, head to asbk.com.au. We'll see you in a few weeks.